Welcome class to today's lesson. Today we are going to look at the second topic, which is training and development. And this activity, it is usually for the sake of the employees in ensuring that we are able to enhance their skills or to enhance their day-to-day activities. So clearly, what is going to be undertaken, or maybe what is going to be put into perspective, it is the position or maybe the engagement that is being given across. So under this topic, we want to define what is training and what it entirely entails. So under the explanation, training, it is any effort that is made within the organization to try and enhance the key skills of such employees and make sure that they are able to execute their mandate very softly and in the required manner. Because at the end of the day, if it is going to be negative, then they might not be able also to execute their day-to-day activities swiftly. So when we are talking of training, then it means we are fully trying to enshrine the expectations of the employees into the organization's undertakings and make sure that it is quite positive. What is the philosophy of training? Because when we talk of training, then there is an analogy behind it, and this purely anticipates what is duly expected for us. So under this, we are simply trying to maybe synthesize the expectations. Therefore, training should be guided as an investment in the employees' expectations and something that we can be able to ideally maybe put into perspective. So the management should be fully committed towards this exercise, which is a very, very vital activity for the organization as a whole, and make sure that it is done in the very best interest of the organization. Under the concept of training, it is about developing employees both as an individual or as a wholesome engagement or a wholesome indictment across the point. So what will they be able to accrue? And if they are going to accrue, then is it something that is going to be quite positive? Because these planned programs and engagements that are indicted towards the same spirit, then to what extent is it going to come across? So that explains the philosophy and the concept behind training, so that as an organization, then you can ideally be able to understand the same and perpetuate it in the right position. Now, if we are going to undertake training, then we need to ask ourselves, what is the need for training? Because what catalyst is it going to be put maybe into perspective for an organization to push itself to be able to maybe also undertake the same task across the point? Number one, it is to improve the efficiency of employees. And in management, we have two terms, effectiveness and efficiency. And under efficiency, we want to make sure that the employees are able to do the best, or they are able to exhibit the best while they are within the organization, because we don't want either to render them redundant or maybe to find them giving lip service across the point. So it is going to be an ideal position over the same, so that we are able to ensure that they are giving the best, and not only the best, but they are also exhibiting the same in other quarters. Number two, we want to reduce waste, because when employees have a clear knowledge of what they are doing, they are not going to engage in activities that are not going to be quite positive, or maybe they are going to be quite robust for the organization. So the trial and error, which is a wastage of resources, it is not going to be exhibited. They are able to give out their position very, very easily. So we shall reduce time wastage, as people will use the lead time very well, and we shall be able to reduce loss of money in the same activity, which comes in a different perspective. Number two, it is about, three, quality of output. Because output, these are the end results. These end results can only be the best in terms of quality if also the producers or those engaged in the process of production confer and have the best skills and knowledge across the point. Number four, to bring down the aspect of supervision, because when you give employees the required skills or expertise, then you don't need to supervise them to execute their mandate every now and then, because they will have a clear engagement or indication of what they can be able to do, and therefore they will be able to perform activities on their own without any level of supervision. Next, it is to have what we call preventive maintenance, because if employees are not well knowledgeable in their areas of engagement, then automatically they are going to incur a lot of inconveniences by failing to acknowledge what is expected of them. And clearly it is not going to be within also their expectations or maybe their indictments across the point. So we want to make sure that we are reducing on such small elements that are going to come across. Next is about optimum performance. And optimum, it means fully utilizing the skills or the resource available to you, which we call the employees. Because if they don't have the required skills, some of them are not going to give the best service, or if they are going to give the best service, then it is going to have some little, maybe positions or maybe other key issues that cannot be measurable across the point. Next, it is boosting the morale of such employees. And it is clear, because an employee who has a clear understanding of what he or she is supposed to be doing, it is going to be easier for this person to be motivated to perform his or her activities. Because when they lack the skills, they will have that egocentric approach, or maybe they will have that position of being naive about the activities they want to perform. So we want them to have that confidence and vigor, and we can only do this by giving them the required skills. Then preparing the workforce for future challenging activities, because the future is usually seen to be uncertain. And if it is uncertain, then we want to prepare adequately for the unknown future. And you can only prepare for the unknown future by fully giving these individuals what is expected of them in terms of expertise, so that those challenges or those actions or happenings in the future, they're not going to be against maybe this person's wishes or maybe against this person's engagement. Next is to reduce absenteeism. Employees fear coming to their workstations or workplaces because they fear the challenging tasks, or maybe they fear exhibiting their ignorance in terms of performing activities. So some of them will resort to being absent and failing to come to work because they don't want to be seen also in one way or another not exhibiting what is expected of them. There is the issue of grievances, and we want to bring it down by doing training, because most of the employees will be aggrieved when they feel they are either assigned roles or responsibilities which from their own understanding they lack the knowledge or expertise. And therefore they will always be aggrieved, or maybe they will always have aggression, or they will always be bitter, either to their supervisors or to their immediate line managers. So the key issue is, what do you do to them? Give them the skills, and they will always have a noble entity for themselves. Lastly, to build a career of that employee, because personal growth goes back to the issue of what skills do you have as a person, and if you have the skills, then do they come in very swiftly. So the last item today is about the training or training objectives. Because if you are to train an employee, then there is that wholesome engagement and there is that individual engagement. So we have the individual objectives and the organizational objectives. Under individual objectives, the key indictment there is ensure their personal goals and initiatives in terms of contribution towards the organization is fully enhanced. So the key issue on training in regard to individual objectives is to make sure that their personal growth is enhanced and they are able to do their work very swiftly. But under the organizational objectives, then they are looking at it from the point of what does the organization expect from that employee. So they assist the organization with its primary objective by bringing individual effectiveness. So under this, we are looking at functional objectives and societal objectives. So functional objectives is making sure that they are able to perform their day-to-day activities effectively. Now, under the societal objectives, we are looking at maintaining their fair contribution towards the community or the entire area they are co-existing across the point. So the following can be briefly be seen as a summary of the training objectives. One of them, it is creating constant awareness in the minds of the employees. Now awareness, it is making sure that the employees go with the current trends that are happening within the organization or maybe within their operational area, because if that doesn't happen, they might be left behind while other people are progressing their industry or maybe their organization or their workstations are going to remain behind. Number two, it is encouraging self-development. And when we talk of self-development, it means an employee has his or her own expectations in terms of growth. And one of the areas to grow an employee, it is in the area of training by giving them the required skills and expertise, and therefore they will be able also to even take more responsibilities, take challenging tasks, and even acquire more knowledge on other key issues. The other thing is to ensure that we are meeting the training needs, because instituting a training program in an organization, it is acknowledging that training is a need, and therefore using that training to be able to get what needs are there within the organization. The next one is imparting knowledge, making sure that performance of tasks is very swift. The next issue is ensuring that the programs are well run, and also the career path is well fully explained, plus other key existing issues. So I think that is the overview of the training in terms of what is shared. The other things we shall see in the subsequent lessons, and if there is any question, we have our platforms of communication we can be able to share. Thank you.